It is, I've already forgotten the date. It is June, and I think it is June 2nd? And this is the Daily Word. Doesn't it seem like we just can't seem to stop lurching from one fear to the next? And what I mean by that is that as soon as one situation begins to resolve, somebody in the media or somebody in the world of science or somebody in the world of government seems to begin working hard to gin up another fear. For the last year and a half, it's been be afraid of the virus, be very afraid. We're all going to die. Be afraid of those Democrats. They want to take away our freedoms. Be afraid of those Republicans. They want to suppress voting rights. Look out for China. They're going to start a war. Or be afraid for your children because they're being indoctrinated with pernicious ideas. And now as the virus winds down, it's be very afraid of the vaccine. I'm not going to get into the negatives because if I did, YouTube and Facebook would block me. If you want to inform yourself of both the positives and the negatives, do the research. The information is out there on both sides, claiming that it's safe and claiming that it'll kill you. But how many are afraid, that if they don't get the vaccine, they won't be allowed on airplanes or in certain stores? Vaccine passports. And don't forget all the hysteria over the mark of the beast and all that related stuff. And so I'm saying it's been a constant diet of fear and anxiety for now a year and a half. And I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, in the face of all this, we who believe in Jesus ought to begin to think and act as if we really do believe. And that brings me to Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Never allow fear or anger to take your worship from you. This is a primary source of strength. Never allow anger or fear to become the kind of hate that cancels or hinders pure worship. This is our strength in any period of crisis and trouble. Verse 2, my soul will make its boast in the Lord. The humble will hear it and rejoice. Well, listen, our worship, our boasting in the power and goodness of the Lord becomes a source of strength and uplift to others who are struggling. The humble, meaning the burdened, those laboring under the burden of anxiety, will feed on the power that flows through you because of your worship. So we want to seek to draw others into it with us. Corporate worship, people gathered to praise the Lord together, is absolutely vital. And so the psalmist wrote, verse 3, O magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I want you to note the word together. And then he began to write about victory over his fears. Verse 4, I sought the Lord, and he answered me, and delivered me from all my fears. And then it's like he turned to his brothers and sisters who had gathered with him, and he pointed to them and says in verse 5, they, pointing to them, looked to him and were radiant, and their faces will never be ashamed. Well, I've learned again and again over my nearly 70 years of life that I've never faced a situation when the Lord did not listen to my cry for help and deliver me in the midst of it. Verse 6, this poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. Well, those of us who truly fear the Lord and who bow before him can count on his presence and his protection in every situation. Verse 7, the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and rescues them. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Well, in other words, test him, try him, experience his goodness and his faithfulness. It reads on, how blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Verse 9, O fear the Lord, you his saints, for to those who fear him there is no want. Well, I'll say it again. Never in my life, through multiple times of crisis, multiple seasons of certain loss, never has the Lord let me down or failed to sustain my family and the people I've pastored. We walk in his favor that comes to those who fear him, those who worship him in faithfulness. Verse 10, The young lions do lack and suffer hunger, the young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but they who seek the Lord shall not be in want of any good thing. Well, I may not get everything I want, but I've never seen a lack of anything I really needed. It's his promise, and I've never seen him fail, not with me and not with anyone I've known who belongs to the Lord. Verse 11, "Come, you children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord." I can see this psalm being read in the temple in ancient times. And the moment comes when the priest calls the little children to himself to sit at his feet and be taught who the Lord truly is. Sometimes I want to challenge parents to take a good look at what the children in their household are learning by what their parents speak and practice in the fear of the Lord, or the lack of it. Here's the content of what the priest taught the children. Verse 12, "Who is the man who desires life and loves length of days that he may see good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it." In other words, the simple lesson to the children and to us was, don't speak things to others that sow heaviness or unbelief or hatred, and never ever lie. Walk like this, and life as a whole will be a good one. Verse 15, "The eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry." Verse 16, "The face of the Lord is against evildoers, to cut off the memory of them from the earth." So there's a simple lesson. Move with God, and things will go well, and your relationship with him will grow. Move against God's laws and principles, and things will not go well. Ultimately, the judgment will come. Verse 17, "The righteous cry, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles." Well, as the people of my church and I have lived through this last year of economic shutdowns and COVID restrictions, the Lord has abundantly preserved us beyond anything we could have dreamed or asked. No one lost a job, no one went hungry, no one lost a home. Over the course of that year and a half, we were able to renovate our old church building with a new parking lot, a new roof, a new HVAC, a new sign, new grass and sprinklers where we once had scruffy dirt. Now new modern windows are coming. God more than delivers in the time of trouble for those who fear him. We even added staff. Verse 18, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Well, there have been times of heartbreak. Some of us did lose relatives to various illnesses over this last year and a half. Over the last 2 years, there have been deep heartbreaks for me personally, as some important relationships have been either disrupted or lost. These things happen. It's life, and it hurts. But those who know the Lord are never alone. He promised in the New Testament that he would never leave us or forsake us to the end of the age. I don't always feel his nearness, but I know he's never left, and he always finds a way to break through. Verse 19, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all." Well, God never promised we wouldn't suffer or face serious problems. He never promised that hurts and wounds would be few and far between. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but there's always deliverance by our faithful God. Verse 20, "He keeps all his bones, not one of them is broken." Verse 21, "Evil shall slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned." It's easy to choose an unrighteous path when the pressure is on. But the end of that is that the evil we choose is the evil that destroys us. God doesn't even have to send his judgment. We reap what we ourselves have sown. We may be persecuted in the days to come. Freedoms may be abridged. But the promise is that those who hate the righteous, and yes, the number of those who hate Christians is growing, those who hate the righteous will be condemned. God will move. Verse 22, "The Lord redeems the soul of his servants, and none of those who take refuge in him will be condemned." Well, that's it for today. I'm feeling mostly pastoral today as opposed to being in some way prophetic. God is already in the early stages of releasing a fresh outpouring of his Spirit and power around the world. The winds of hope are blowing. Take hold of it and seek his face. God bless you all.